Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. Let's start. For traders who are in my subscription group, not subscription, I should say installment group, these videos are free. They're on YouTube for 2 weeks. Please go on YouTube, watch it on YouTube as well if you can, and share it. And you can share it with anybody, friends, and you can share the link, the YouTube link with friends, with traders you know who trade, and let them see what we do. For traders who are seeing this for the first time or this particular video for the first time and don't know who I am, I think you can go and watch my YouTube page. You will see hundreds of videos there. You will get a very good information of what I do. I use wave analysis to analyze the charts, and it's pretty accurate. It's the most accurate analysis that is out there. You can compare it to any other video you watch. I have no problem with that. You may notice a lot of people are using wave analysis now as well instead of Elliott wave. Well, that's something I actually started out when I was in TradingView. Instead of Elliott wave, wave analysis, because it is different from Elliott wave, the way we do it. A lot of people have already sent me Skype messages on how to join the group. So I'm going to go very fast in 1 minute and tell you. You send me the Skype message still because I'll give you all the details there. If you don't know what my Skype is, let me type it very fast for you. It's type MANGAL 457. Send me a message and you'll get all the details you need on how to join the group. We have a very vibrant group. We have a trading room where we trade almost 24/7. I was there just 5 a.m. my time this morning. We had an Asian session. We normally do 1 or 2 Asian sessions. We were there the whole day in the London session and most of the New York session. Right? That's where we take live trades. We document them. We look at the results. We manage them. Everything. As well as I have a trading course. You will get the information when you write me. You can also join the training course with an installment program. That is for traders. I never wanted to do that, but I introduced it with some traders who couldn't afford to pay for the course immediately, but really wanted to take it. And after a few people end up taking some really bad courses, and I had to help them to bring back their account. And I asked them the reason. They've been following me for a while. I said, why you didn't take my course? Well, the only reason they didn't take it is because they didn't have the cash and time to do it. Eventually, we decided we were going to create that installment program. I can tell you 90% of the people who took the installment program already are in the course. They're already 10% who are now joining. They're new traders. I'm not talking about the new one. I'm talking about the 90% of the ones who joined last year. A few of them have paused there during the pandemic and the COVID. A few people have paused for a few months. They're back, and they will probably be in the room very soon. So we're going to have a 100%. Well, a few people even left. I thought they left for like 6 months. One guy was off. I thought, well, he's not going to pay anymore. He's not interested in the installment. He came back suddenly and he said, hey, I want to finish this thing off and I'll just pay you off. And he just paid off and joined the course because he knows the value of what he was getting. So if you want to know more about the installment program, also send me a Skype message and you get it. Let me go very quick now. I did two webinars before today that are very detailed. If you're seeing this one for the first time, go to the YouTube page and watch the previous two. That is yesterday and the day before yesterday. They're more detailed. Today one will be short. It will not be so detailed. I'm running out of time. Let's start. Dollar index. Dollar index, as we said in the first two, we were expecting it to go down some more and tag this low. And that doesn't mean it's going to go down right now. We're in a correction. There is a possibility that this correction could turn out to be a running flat and we go back up. That's a pattern that we follow. Most of what we do is based on pattern recognition. Now, if this is a contracting flat, I remember when I started Monday, I said contracting flats can become running flats, right? So go back and watch Monday's webinar. If this is a running flat, we're going to go up. We don't have a buy setup. So it's not telling us it's going up as yet. We don't have a setup for that. It's going down in this move. This move could continue to come to the low, or it could stop and turn if the contracting flat that we're looking at turns to be a running flat and not a contracting flat. So what we're going to watch for here is if we get flags. Remember I said Monday, if you get flags, you sell. If you get flags, you sell. If you get flags, you sell. You sell if you get flags. If we don't have flags, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for a turn, wait for flags, and then buy to break the top. Once we break the top, the chances are they're going to come back down. I don't think it's turning as yet. If you want to know more about the detail why I don't think it's turning, watch Monday's webinar or wait until the end of these 2 weeks and I will do a daily webinar. I will do a webinar on the daily charts so that you could understand my long-term views. Please watch all of them. And if you're watching this video, please share it. Watch it to the end and share it, right? There are thousands of people watching it. I hope you can share too, so you will get another 1,000 people to learn something from them. Silver. Silver is going up. We're in the buy in silver. Remember when Monday, when it was doing this, we had this and we had this. I said, be careful. They have to come back down and then we're going to be interested in the buy. Well, that happened. It dropped. We have a running flat. We have an entry here, right? The stop was here. I moved the stop to this level this morning because I'm in the trade. Now, as to why we are moving this stop and where we put stop and all those details, we're not going to go into that. That's strategy. That's something we do in our trading room and in the course. That's something you learn in the course and then we implement it in the trading room. So that is out. What I'm giving you now is just my analysis, not the trades themselves. Every now and then I'll show you trades we are in. So I'm in this one. We are expecting it to go more. Same of gold. Some of my traders are in gold. We were expecting it to go there. The ones who took gold are much more lucky than us who took silver because gold they bought here. Right? Gold was bought at this point this morning. I think there were 2 traders in the trading room this morning who were in gold. It's going great. Right? You can buy it here because there was a flag after the running flag. That's the best buy. Euro. We are going to buy euro if it proves what we think. You remember I just showed you running flat on silver. 1, 2, 3. We broke the top. If this pulls back, then the buy would be perfect. What if it continues to go? It's going to be a long drawn out running flat. In that case, if you buy now, you can buy now. There's a risk. You just have to know where to put your stop and how you're going to manage the trade. There's a buy setup forming with a small flag here. But when you get this, normally you will get something like this. You will get this and then you'll go. You might get it back at break even. So sometimes it's not worth taking. Sometimes they go much further before you get the running flat, the second impulse of the running flat. So in short, we're looking for buys in euro. We don't see the turn as yet. If it starts to turn, we'll sell. But right now it's upside. Pong, I'm not looking for buys in Pong, and we spoke about that. I think Pong should come back a little by this area before it goes. So we didn't take buy for that reason. It didn't break the low. For us, breaking the low is significant in the patterns we're looking at. If this goes up here, the chances are we're still going to come back here before we go. Right? The chances are you might just get a bigger correction. There's a reason for that. So no problem. If we miss the Pong, we're not you don't necessarily have to buy the Pong because all of them are dollar movements. You can choose which dollar pair you choose. Some of our traders choose silver, some choose gold. Some of us choose Aussie because Aussie is a good buy. I told you Monday that we are expecting Aussie to come and break the low. If you're seeing this video, this is the first video you're seeing in any of my video, go look at the Monday video. We expect it was here. We said it's going to come, break this low, and then we're going to go up. Some of my traders bought here. Some of them bought here. We bought this yesterday in the trading room. So we are in the trade now. That is this morning. Sorry, we bought in the trading room. Yesterday we had the entry. We took it off. This morning we got back into the entry. And we are expecting this to not only come to the top here, but likely break out. It could go there and come back to make a more complex pattern, but the chances are it could break out completely. Let's see how it goes. The worst case in this trades like this is we manage our way out of them if they don't go. Right now it's going, so we're not worried about that. I think it was going to go, so we'll see what happens and how it goes. New Zealand. New Zealand, we were trying to buy, take off the entry order. We took off the entry order because it didn't go the way we expected to go. They pulled back very deep. And when they do that deep pullback, I'm not anticipating. I anticipate a bigger correction, not an impulse to the upside. So even if this goes up here, it might be more of a corrective structure in the making here. So the difference is Aussie is trying to make an impulse to the upside. It's going up and going up faster than New Zealand. New Zealand is going up, but most likely it's going up not as an impulse, but as a correction. And there's a huge difference in that if you understand structure, which is what we teach. If you understand the structure, you'll understand that huge difference. Then you will know which, if you have to choose between New Zealand and Aussie, which both of them are dollar movements, but Aussie seems to be moving faster. So the Aussie buy, we're no longer the New Zealand. We would leave the New Zealand alone, and then we'll look to whether we get a sell setup in it maybe next week. Swiss. We had a buy entry in Swiss yesterday if this was going to break out. Remember I told you it could go down some more. We're not interested in the downside simply because this seems to be more of a corrective structure. So we're not interested in the downside as this. If you took the trade, it came right back up, you probably would have closed it for break-even. Based on our rules, we would take break-even in a trade like that. The possibility, if this consolidates here, repeat this consolidation, we might see an up move that we will probably take. I don't see it going up right now, so there's no buy setup in it. We're in this consolidation. For me, we are tracking the pattern that is forming here. Monday, I said there's a possibility of a contracting flat here, but we don't forecast contracting flat because contracting flats can become running flats. I just explained that. The details of that I'm not going to go into. It could be that you've ended the structure, or it could be we're making a more complex pattern. Right now with the down move, I'm expecting a more complex pattern. Let's see which one works. It doesn't matter. We're not trading this as yet. We're just watching it. We're monitoring to see when we get a perfect trade setup, then we're going to trade it. You don't have to trade everything that moves, right? We're watching this. When the setup for the trade for the next big impulse is there, we will take it. Right now, it's just going sideways, which is a consolidation. CAD, we're in the selling CAD from yesterday in the trading room. I don't know if anyone of the other, I think a few people took this trade because one person was in the trade already in the trading room when they asked me about it yesterday. And I said, yes, we're looking for a sell setup and we were expecting it to come to about this level, not much lower. From there, we will see whether they're going to go back up or whether we're going to continue down. It's in a downtrend, but if you watch the Monday webinar, you'll see that based on the daily structure, once they break the bottom, the likelihood is they're going to go back up and we're going to start a daily correction. There's a daily correction to start in this pattern. Yen, if you know, and I showed you the yen, the only thing I'm going to show you in this webinar now on the daily is the yen, because this one is amazing. And if you don't want to miss this move, you want to join us. Even if you join us on the subscription, you want to join us because in the subscription, you will get all my daily webinars every single day. Every single day, I do a detailed webinar like this, much more detailed than I'm doing it now. And I give instructions to our traders of what trades we're looking for. So let me give you very fast why this is very interesting. This is a weekly correction. This is an impulse, and this is a daily correction. We have 4-hour corrections happening right now. And if all of those break out, first move is this level, which is for this pattern, or for this pattern, which is this level. So this is an amazing trade coming. I think that should be thousands of pips. Let's see how much pips we can get if they go to the top. We're looking at this to this level. Just about 1,300 pips. And you might get more than that because you're not going to have one trade. You're going to have numerous trades on every pullback. So you can get a trade that makes an impulse, take the profit out. When it pulls back, buy again. So you're buying lower than where you closed the previous one. That means in the 1,300 pip move, you can get more pips than the size of the move because they will always pull back. If it goes in one move, you are very, very lucky. That's not going to happen, right? So this one is very, very interesting. The 4-hour consolidation is the one we think we're making right now. If this is making a consolidation here, that would be a 4-hour consolidation for upside. Now, it starts like a consolidation, and the yen does that sometimes, where the move starts like a consolidation, and then they just keep going down, right? If it keeps going down, I explained that already, we're not quite interested in the sell. Once it breaks the low, we're buying. And by that doesn't mean when it breaks the low, we buy. It means when it breaks the low and it gives us the setup for the buy, we will buy. What is the setup for the buy? That's a long story. So join us, you know. Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss is consolidating. We had this, on the 1 hour, we had this breakout here. And then we went up. We were looking for an expanding flat, which we got, a running flat, sorry. We got a running flat. It came back to the low. I think we broke the low, because if they broke the low, then they go up. That is an up move starting. So you're going to have a 1, 2, 3 pattern, a 1, 2, 3, and upside. Now, to confirm that this is totally going up, once you wanted to break out, second, you wanted to break the top of this, make a consolidation, and we buy. If we get that pattern, we're buying, because that would confirm that we're getting another impulse to the upside. Right now, it's still in consolidation. So it's either that is a running flat or it's a more complex pattern forming in the middle here. You have to have confirmation that it is going to go up as an impulse. If you're trading it very short term, you're in the trade already from this point. Yesterday, we discussed that with our traders. So once it tags the low or it breaks the low, you can look for that. All right, we'll have to check to see if the low is broken. Aussie yen. Aussie yen up. look for buy setups. We'll be looking for buy setups, especially since there's a yen to it. We've got a 1, 2, 3. When it comes back to the top here, you'd have to be careful. It can continue to go, or they can come back down to make a more complex pattern. Right? Aussie CAD, we're looking for a buy setup. It broke out. It's going up now, and it's not very impulsive. It's likely you're going to get a trade here. I think you could be in that trade already, just like the Aussie dollar. We took the Aussie dollar instead of the Aussie CAD, sorry. But that is a trade setup if you get a flag there. You had a flag already, so you have to wait for another flag. Aussie, New Zealand, you missed the first flag, wait for another one. Aussie, New Zealand, I explained this already. It is going to continue to go up, but we're not trading it because it's not very tradable. Based on the strategies we use, we would have taken about 5 trades and closed them for break even. It's going up really slow. But once it gets to the top here, that's when it becomes interesting. Because from that point, there's a sharp move to the downside that will happen. If you're following me for the last 4 years, I've explained this in details many times. This is a huge correction. And 3 years back, before this happened, we were expecting this to break out. And it was not breaking out, and it was like we were a little upset with it. Why is it not going? Where the hell was it? And then it broke the low. And that confirms what we thought. It's not a big impulse to the upside. As a matter of fact, it becomes a big correction. So we're looking for something like this. I expect this to come up more, break through this pattern, maybe even to this level, maybe even break the top of this, if it's an expanding flat. But from there, you're going to get a move that goes down like this. See this move coming down here? That's what you're going to get. So will it come back to about 95? Very possible. This would be a very fast and a very nice trade. So what we want is for this to finish. And even when it was coming down here, we didn't consider it finished because this impulse is not an equivalent of the first impulse. So let it go up some more. I think we're going to tag the top, at least break this top, maybe go a little higher. And then if you get buy setups that are good, you can take them. If you see a very nice flag and, this doesn't have a buy setup, it's going up, but you don't have a buy setup. You have it in the Aussie, but not in this one. So just let it go. When you get a setup, you can take the trade. Euro Oz, we have a flat here, and it looks like we're heading for the downside. If they break, we have a expanding flat in here. If you took that trade, you closed it already. The break of the expanding flat, you closed that already. By rule, you're supposed to. And then we're looking for the downside. So if we get a flag here, we'll sell this because this is a complete 1, 2, 3 pattern. So if it makes a flag, we'll sell. Euro New Zealand, it broke the top. It actually went much higher than we expected. We're watching the break of this top. It actually went a little higher. You had a trade setup there yesterday. If it gives another trade setup, we'll take it. If they're coming down, you have to wait for them to drop and make a flag somewhere here. That's where you'll get a very good trade, a high probability trade. So the trades we look for, the setups we look for, setups that has high probability of going. Right? EuroCAD, there will be a sell setup here if you want it. It's not moving fast. It's a good trade, but it's not moving fast. So you have the specific strategy in trading it, which calls for a lot of patience. Euro Swiss, stay out of that. Euro Yen, we're looking for the buy today. So Euro Yen yesterday, if you were following me in yesterday's webinar, I said let this come down, let it go back up, come back down, and then we're interested in the buy. If we get a flag here, that's a buy setup. Some of my traders bought here, but that's very risky trade. They know what they're doing. If we get a flag here, it comes down a little more, we're looking for a buy setup. Euro Pound, it's not going up, but we want a buy in this. The reason we're looking for a buy in this, we're hoping that it will come and break this top first. It's a daily correction. See? So I want this daily correction here. Come back maybe a little more here. Go back up there, break the top, and then drop. Because this move going down is not much of an impulsive move. It looks more like a corrective move. So I would not be selling that at the bottom here. That's not a good risk to reward trade. Let it drop. There's a sell setup there. Let it drop. And if it starts to go back up, we buy. If it confirms that this is the downside, the start of the downside, which I don't think it is because I'm looking at internal structures of this and internal structure of this, that doesn't make sense. So it might even go without me. We'll trade something else. But if it goes back up, we'll buy. And from there, we're selling. Once the pattern we're looking for, the patterns we know, we see, and they're identical and they behave the same way, we're in the trades. If there's something we can't figure out, we're not sure about that pattern, we just leave it alone. Pangos is coming down. It probably has to come back to about this level. I'm on a daily chart, so I'll do that. And then we'll go for the downside. So let's go to the 1 hour chart. Let's go back to the 1 hour chart. It's coming up. I think we'll go up some more. We're looking at this level probably. That is the top of the previous impulse. They may or may not break that, but then we can look for the downside because this is going really slow up. And then we'll start to look for the sell setup on this. By the way, I showed that on the Monday where there's a big daily structure that we broke out of and we're going down. Pound New Zealand. This one is breaking the top of the last impulse we had, which is this or this one. So there might be some short move up and then we're expecting the downside. If we get the setup, we'll trade it. It doesn't mean we're trading the downside. We're not even trading the upside as yet because the trades are not good. It's moving, but the trades are not good. Trade something else. Pound Swiss. Pound Swiss is going up and we anticipate more upside. So if we get a setup here, we'll look for a buy to the top. It has to come and break this top. It has to come and break this top. And probably even go some more. So there's a trade here to get, 1 or 2 trades to get there. We'll be watching for those trades. Go back to the 1 hour. So as you might have just noticed, the analysis are not only based on this little piece. It's based on the bigger structure, it's based on the bigger pattern, it's based on the smaller structures and the smaller patterns. So what you're seeing here today, and what you see in these last videos that I'll be doing, is just the last piece of the analysis, which is I'm saying to my traders, today we were expecting this to go up. If it goes, we buy. If it doesn't go, we wait tomorrow and we reanalyze it to see what the pattern is doing. Because sometimes you're in a consolidation, you expect it to break out, and it doesn't break out that day, break out the next day or 2 days after, maybe even change structure. So then you change your view on it, which is a daily thing we do. We update every single day. That doesn't mean we don't look at the whole bigger structure. You don't see that. We look at the whole bigger structure in our trading room as well. So we get a better view as to where is the longer term direction. Pound Yen, it's going up, longer term direction. I think this is the only pound, this is the only yen trade I think looks longer term downside. This definitely looks downside longer term. So the problem is if we think yen is going to go up longer term, and this one still has at least one move to go, then you really want to watch the pound dollar. That could be the only reason. Or we're wrong about this and this thing just take off. I don't see this taking off. It could go. You could look at all of this as the correction. This is a correction of its own. And this one go. But normally impulses, even if this is an impulse and it goes like this, it's a squeeze. It's called an AB squeeze. So if this is an impulse going up like this, once that top is broken, you're looking for a drop. And this drop is going to be much bigger than the drop we're looking for now. So I could see the pound falling first at this level and then the up move start. Because if we get a flat here, yes, you can go up after that. That would make sense based on patterns that we look at. So go back to the 1 hour. Right now in the short term, we didn't get the sell setup. There was a buy setup here in this point. Some of my traders took that one. On this flag, we discussed that the previous day in our trading room. That happened. When we were looking for the sell, we said, okay, let it go up, make a flag, and then you can buy. It's consolidating here. I think we will break the top, look for the sell. Once the top is broken, we're looking for the sell. Punkad. There's a sell setup, but it's short term, so we're not interested in it. This should probably come and break this low in a bigger corrective structure and then up. So if it goes higher, it will become a good risk to reward trade. We'll take it. If it goes a little higher, it will be interesting. What if they go break the top? Then it's a running flat for upside. If this goes here and break the top, this piece becomes a running flat for upside like that. It comes down back here, we look for the buy setup. See, that's how structure changes. If you want to know what I mean when I said, okay, we're looking at this particular pattern right now, but that could change. So right now we're looking at this pattern. This is enough for a correction. But because this one is not going and we're getting a corrective structure here, we're assuming that this corrective structure makes a 1, 2, 3 to this level, give you this, and then we go. But that could change, especially if this breaks the top. then that changes the entire view because it's a totally different structure. The new piece that is added to it gives you a different pattern. And patterns do change as you go along. And that's one of the biggest difference between what we do and what Elliott Wavers do. Elliott Wavers make an assumption that this is the pattern that is going to form, and only that pattern should form. Right? We're saying no, these patterns do exist, but they vary in that you're looking at a particular pattern, but that pattern might change if a new piece of structure is added that could create a different pattern. Right? Because you're taking pieces in like a puzzle, you're putting them together to see, is that a known pattern? So 3 pieces a known pattern, 5 pieces a known pattern, 7 pieces are known patterns. So the more pieces add, the more you change that structure as you go. And that's one of the things we have mastered in the way we look at charts. That is different from what Elliott Wavers do. So you would look at my chart, you would see it differently. We learn to read the charts differently. New Zealand yen. Sorry, I'm still in the front cat. New Zealand yen. This looks upside, and it is in line with all the yen trades we're looking for. So it's kind of, this is not the impulse going, so I think they'll probably still do this and come back. Maybe, just maybe, if they come low enough, we would look for a flat and downside. We look for a bigger correction and downside. If they don't do that, which means if they climb up to the top here, any pullback would be a buy setup. So we still have to wait to see what pattern we have in there to decide whether it's going to be one more down or it's starting the upside. It is a correction for upside. It could make one more bigger correction like this, a bigger correction like that, drop, or it could start the upside. So we just have to wait for that confirmation. New Zealand Swiss. We just track it daily, so we will know when it changes. New Zealand Swiss, this one is not clear. So we'll wait. We're not trading it. There's no trade setups in it that is good, so we'll leave it. New Zealand CAT, same thing. It's coming down, but that is corrective, so there's no trade for the downside, and we don't have any buy for the upside, not even under 1 hour. So the trades to the downside they're not that good. Where would you sell it? You'd sell it here. It's going to stop just under this low and go back up. See that? You sold it, stop under the low, go back up. You sold it here, you're back at square one. You sold this here, stop it, go back up, you're back at square one. You better close the trade. If you're not closing those trades, you will watch one of these are going to take off if you're not closing those trades. So maximum, you're going to get a few pips out of them. It's not the best trade setups. Canadian, put your risk on put your money in a different one that moves faster. Canadian, I think we're going to break this top and then come down. Now, right, this piece is showing you that they could come here and then go first. So there might be a little down here today. If we get that, we're looking for a buy setup. Can it drop lower? Maybe, but the setup for the sell is not there, not in this piece. CAT Swiss, nothing, stay away from that. Swiss yen. Let's see what we're not tracking this one very much, but the big picture is upside. I think this one is easy to see. It has to break out, make a flag, and then we'll go. Make a correction, not a flag. Then we look for a flag after the correction. In the middle of that pattern, better not to trade it. When you're in the middle of something like this, when you're in the middle of a squeeze like that, looks like a triangle, it's not a triangle as yet. It could become a triangle, but it's not a triangle as yet. If this one is going to be similar looks like these, it might be a triangle. So right now, we just have to wait and see what it is. There's a buy setup here, short term. We have a flat here that could be a contracting flat. We have a possibility for a running flat here. There are about 3 different possibilities of which pattern you're going to see. You would only know which one is correct when this piece plays out. Then you can know. But right now, in all of them, it is showing an upside. So in terms of the pattern, it doesn't matter because they're all showing upside. We're looking for a buy setup. Right? Oil. If you took the buy anywhere in here, yesterday we spoke about it, it might come back to this level. You can take the buy here. You'll have to just manage it. There's a chance that it comes slow and still drop. Right? It could still drop. So if you're in the buy, you got to move your stocks to positive now because they can drop. If you think this is all the correction, I don't think so because this one is really sharp. And I don't see much of a correction there. Maybe that's an expanding flat. If that's an expanding flat, take every flag you get here. If they give you a flag, take the flag. Right? So you should have taken this one first. You could have taken this one. And now there's a chance to take another one there. And UK oil, very similar. This one was looking much more better for the sell yesterday. Right? It didn't do the sell. You're not in the trade. You don't have to worry about that. It go up. I don't see the buy setup in this one. We had a buy setup in this one. If you were trading yesterday, we were trading discussing this. You had a buy setup here or a buy setup here, but you don't have a buy setup in this one. It's structurally different. It's going up, but it's not a buy setup. Now you do have buy setups. You had one flag here and one flag, but from here, I wouldn't buy into any one of those. That's not, you're risking the chance that they're going to drop still. And it could drop based on where the daily structure is, because we do have divergence on the daily structure. So if you're going to buy here, you'll have to be very, very careful. We can move this. We're not interested in the sell here. We discussed that. We're not interested. Let the sell go break the low and then we'll buy. It's a big structure. Once they break that low, you look for buy setups, right? So right now we're expecting this might just come here and go back up. See? So it's not, you're not looking for the short-term sell. You're looking for the long-term buy if it goes. Break this low and then go right back up. Then you can put a buy entry here if it goes. Sometimes it goes really fast. That is what we would do. Based on the strategies we use, we put the buy entry there and see what happens, right? This is a buy, it's going. This is a buy, it's going. You can look for the buy. This is not gone anywhere. I hope the charts are not lagging, because some of these charts, especially on these pairs, they lag for me. Depends on which one you're using. I don't know why. Maybe I need to get, subscription for them or so. S&P 500, it's a buy. It's going to break out, or you can buy it earlier, depending on what's your strategy in trading them. DAX is a buy. You're getting a buy setup once it goes up. AU 200, this is a buy. We tracked this a while back, so you had a perfect buy setup here, and you might get another one here. Nifty is a buy. It's going up. I said watch these deep pullbacks, trade them upwards. I think the breakout here wasn't a bad trade. The breakout of this. It's moving slow. It moves slow, this piece. It's moving slow. This piece moves slow, so they will move slow. You just have to know how it moves and decide how you're going to stay with it. Tesla, it's a buy, but you have to wait some more, because you see this consolidation here. They'll probably do this, come back here, and then go. I'm looking for a pattern that looks like that. It could be more long drawn out, which means they could come here, come back here, and then go. Something like that as a running flat. So let me put that running flat for everybody. It could do this, then do this, then go. This would still be a running flat. So you have a buy setup here if you're interested. But be aware that they can come right back to that same point where you buy and then go up. You just have to be aware of that. If you understand the patterns and you know how to monitor, you can decide, well, you know what, I'm going to get out of it and get right back into it. Amazon, we're expecting it to come down first and then start the up move. So this one needs to come down. And then we're expecting the up move. Right, back to this level first. Maybe come back here and then go. Or take off. There's a chance it can take off, depending on how you look at the structure in here. SLR, it's more downside, wait for consolidation sell. This one, we were expecting it to come back up, because we're looking for a 1, 2, 3 structure. So if this goes up, you have a buy setup there. I think it's making an attempt for the upside. So you have a buy setup, take the trade. Expect the buy here. So you're going to have a you're getting a consolidation here, which is a good, this is good for a buy. Reliance, sorry. Take that off, take this off. Reliance. It's in a big consolidation, so I don't think we're getting a buy so soon. I think this is going to come here and then come back down. Because I'm looking at this pattern. Somebody sent me one of this chart yesterday, a Reliance chart, not my traders, one of the guys from the room. And he compared it with another chart where he had a structure that was very similar to this. Then they make a flat here, and instead of going down, this one just keeps going up. Now, that happens in rare case where this is all the consolidation. The pieces of the chart he sent me shows that, but the piece of the chart that I don't see was whether this has something here previously. That means this could go up. So if we can find, if I can get the entire chart, then that would be able, I would be able to tell you whether this is going to repeat exactly what that did. So if you're watching this webinar, go back and see if there's something like that. This one does not have it. Reliance doesn't have it for a bigger running flat. So Reliance doesn't have that. Reliance have a sharp impulse. This is your first one. So I think this is a consolidation here. Come back here and then go. Make a bigger flat before you go. If I had a sharp one like this here, which I could put those two for consolidate for a running flat, then I'll go with this up. So the person who sent it to me, you may want to go back and look at the other chart to see if it had that piece in it, or it's just the same as this one is. Right? Bitcoin. By the way, that doesn't mean all of you will send me charts now, right? Because sometimes I'm overwhelmed with the amount of charts I get to look at. I always try to help everyone and reply to you as early as I can. Sometimes you get my reply a little late, so don't worry about that. It's only for analysis purpose and it's not for trading. Nobody, even the people who are sending me, they know that they just want to figure out the analysis, not the trading. Trading is a whole different story. Trading has to do with the psychology of trading, the strategy you're trading, your money management, and your ability to do it. That's why we have a whole group. So we have a group of very, very professional people who can do it together, help each other. Yeah. So you can see Bitcoin seems to be consolidating in this range. And we've got to move up and we're kind of coming down here. I think we might do this. Watch for up move. It could be we're making a more complex pattern in this piece. Sorry. Let me erase that. We may be making a more, what's wrong with this thing? We may be making a more complex pattern in this, and this might be the B part of that complex pattern. So comes back here, go a little up there, come back here, and then go. That's the simplest pattern you're going to find. It doesn't mean it's going to do exactly that. We're going to track every piece on a daily basis and then decide which piece it's doing. So right now, this looks downside a little, but it's within the range. So it's not going to drop us yet. It's within the range of correction. XRP is the one that could drop. If you're looking for a sell setup and you want to sell it, this is the sell. Like I said, you could ignore the sell and let it drop below 10 and then look for a buy setup. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go buy XRP. What I'm saying is that when it drops below 10, it will be back at the bottom. And from that point, if the correction is over, and it's likely that the big correction is going, you're going to have a very sharp move to the upside. So I'll show you this again today. I'll try to do this very fast. I'm already running out of time. So I'm going to do this pretty fast so you can see. Once this hit the low, this entire correction here could be over. And that means we're going to be going back up like this impulse here. See that impulse there? By the way, if you weren't following me this time, I want you to go and look at this time range here. Go find my webinar for that time, or find me in 2018. Yes, you'll find my webinar for that time. And you would see the call I made to buy this. Right? So you would see that call to buy. It's the same thing we're looking for here. We want this to drop here. And then we want to see a setup for a buy here. As a matter of fact, I don't trade cryptos. I don't, but I'm already asking we have a whole group of traders who trade crypto. We have a separate group within the group of people who trade cryptos. I've already asked them for an exchange where I think I can open an account and buy only this one as a long-term investment. And it only would be with money I can afford to lose. Which means if this thing collapses, I'll be pretty okay. I wouldn't be happy, but I'll be okay. Right? I wouldn't be worried about it. I'll put enough money to say, don't worry, because if it goes up, it's going to be 30 to 1. So if I put $1,000, I would make a $30,000 if it goes where I want it to go. If it doesn't go, I lose $1,000, and I will be comfortable with that. So the amount of money I will be putting will depend on how much money I think I can lose and don't suffer. Now, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you what I would do. Now, you will make your choice on your own. So if you like my analysis and you want to be handheld through this process and you want to be guided through this process and you don't want to do the process all on your own because you wouldn't be able to exit if it doesn't go the way you expect it to go. And I'm likely going to be exiting it if it doesn't go that way for a very small loss or maybe back from my entire money that I risk. That is watching the structure in a lower time frame to tell you what it's going to do. That's how we do it. Right? When we're wrong, most times we can get out for less. If you want that guidance, Skype me. Let's see. I think that's the last one. No, we have ETH. ETH is at the top, so I would be careful of buys. It can go more. You would be careful of buys because you remember when they get to the top, they tend to reverse back. On the shorter term, you're looking for, they're going up short term, so you're looking for running flat. I still think we're going to get one of this. So eventually they're going to go drop and then go up more. If they do that, we're going higher. One more high before they come down. So it's climbing up, you can buy. And LTC, this is sell. This is a sell setup. This one is going up, but it's a sell setup. If it starts to break, if you get a flag here and a break, you want this straight to the downside, at least back to this level, and then we'll see if there's more upside. I think it's actually more downside, but we will do that once you get this straight and it breaks the low, then we will make that decision. So again, if you watch this to the end, please share it, like it, make a comment, right? If you really don't like it, don't watch it and don't make any comments, right? Don't waste your time making crazy comments. No one will see it, right? All comments are reviewed now because we've had some crazy trolls following me for whatever reason. They think I'm a celebrity. I don't know who the hell they think I am. If they think I'm Donald Trump or I'm some big celebrity, people have been doing all kinds of things, writing about me. I have no problem with it because I don't follow it and I don't do it. And what we have done is we want to keep, I have a philosophy of positive thinking. So I don't allow negative people near to me. And I don't go where they are. That's just my philosophy, right? So I kick them out of my group if they're there, and then they get angry and they go and they make videos and they do all kinds of stuff on the internet, but they don't come next to me again. So when they come and write stupidness, we just delete it. I have people who delete it very fast. As a matter of fact, you don't get to see it. So don't waste your time doing that. I don't waste my time following you. If you want to follow me as a celebrity, great. Just make my status a little better, whether you do crazy stuff or not. If your life is not valuable to you, then at least it's valuable to me. Good. Make your life my life, and we can go ahead with that. I'm okay with that. I'm never going to make my life about you. Never. Not going to happen. It never happened. And I don't care. And I've interacted with very, very important people in this world. I've interacted with important people in my business career, in my political career, and in my schooling career, because one of my best friends who did in the university in my country was the president of Guyana, and now he's the vice president. He is still the most powerful person in the country. And he's my personal friend, a very good friend, right? So every time I go to Guyana, I go to the State House for dinner. I don't make my life about him. He knows that as well. I don't do that. I don't follow him around, and I don't make my life about him and all this stuff. I don't do that. You don't see his photograph on my Facebook page every day. I have hundreds of photographs of him. You don't see a single one on Facebook. My life is not about him. My life is my life. It's for me. Right? So, and when I go to Guyana, people are going to say, hey, can you ask him to do this? I said, no, I wouldn't. People ask me, yeah, you're going to meet the guy for dinner. Can you ask him to do this for me? I said, no, I wouldn't. I tell him plain. I don't even allow, even family. One person's asked me, can you ask him to give me the license for a gun? I said, no. I'm not asking him for any favor. Never. I'd never ask him, and I will not ask him for a favor. Never. That's just the rule of the game. He's my friend. I don't care that he's the president. Or now he's the vice president. I don't care about that. He's a personal friend of mine. We have dinners. We do all those stuff. We talk crazy stuff. We discuss politics, but I don't ask him for favors. So his life is his life. Mine is mine. We don't follow each other around, right? That's not something I do. So if you want to follow me, great. If you want to write crazy stuff about me and spend your life, leave your family and come following me, everything I do, that's okay. I would ask you to follow me professionally. I would ask you to be a friend of mine. Don't waste your time writing crazy stuff. Watch my work, learn from it. If you can learn, great. If you find it interesting and it's helping you in your career, that's the point. If you want to join my group, there are hundreds of professional traders in the group who you will be with when you trade. You're not following anybody. You're becoming an independent trader of your own. That is what I want you to do. I want you to have a mind of your own. I want you to have your freedom to do whatever you want to do, not to go troll people, because you become what you do. You troll people, you become a troll. As Donald Trump will tell you what happens to you when you do that. The greatest man in the world. At least for until today, right? Today, I think, is the last day when he will be the greatest man on earth. When he loses that power, he's just Donald Trump, the troll. When he loses the power of the presidency, he's just become Donald Trump, the troll, nothing else. Ask him if that leads you to anywhere good. He'll tell you. It doesn't. So don't waste your time doing crazy stuff. If you want to comment good, I welcome that. If you're learning from the videos, watch them. Thank you for your time, and I would see all of you tomorrow. My traders, I'll see you in the trading room a bit later. Thanks, guys. Bye.